That's loud for some reason. Okay. Let's see. Thanks, man. I appreciate you hanging out while I'm doing all this. Wouldn't blame you at all for moving on. Like, no doubt Blanky and Savio have. Did I do a new load? Load. Okay. So this should be back to normal apart from I've left the enhanced broadcasting on. Oh, it's immediately stuttering on stream. But not for me. Yeah, like I say, I can see it on the preview, so don't worry if you want to move on. Totally understand. Like I say, I should technically be doing this with videos off stream, but it's useful just to have it uploaded, I think. These streams are going to be like on the VOD list, and there's going to be a lot of evidence of the issue to review at some point, which might be useful. Taking your job, yeah. Sadly though, immediate stutters on stream, it's not a good sign. Bonk. Well, it's smooth on both at the moment. I don't appear to be having stutters on my screen now, but again, it could come. But we've got to play for a bit. So what have we done? We've taken administrator mode off OBS because that's clearly not making a difference. I put the preferred power management back to normal because that wasn't making a difference. The only thing in NVIDIA settings now is that Sekiro has VSync turned on. I think everything else is default. Obviously I'm back to my native res on my monitor, so it is downscaling again to 1080p. But it's also should have all the other options as well. I'm not caring about hits. Let's just continue. I wonder if you can view the VODs at different reses. Because it'd be interesting to see if the stutter should be on all resolutions, but it would be interesting if it isn't. You know? Like, you can watch it smoothly if you want to watch it at 720p, but if you want to watch it at 1080p, it's going to stutter occasionally. Like, that wouldn't be very good, would it? It would be interesting though. Kinda. You can see interest in these things rather than just pure annoyance at the fact that it's an issue in the first place. You mean at your end? Your network? Do you sometimes have stuttery streams no matter what you watch? Is that what you mean, or? So if that stutter was the interval when I first started the stream, we should get stutters in about 5 minutes. Yeah, if it stutters on one resolution but not the other. To be honest, I can't see that happening. I don't think that would ever happen like that. Surely, if it's going to stutter across all the resolutions in the same way. But we'll see. I would be very surprised if the stutter is specific to one resolution. Very, very, very surprised. Okay, mate, no worries. Have a nice shop. I'll be here testing, probably. Oh. What happened? Doesn't matter, we're just playing. How to have fun with Ogre when you're testing stream stuttering. Okay, the stream's stuttering, but my screen is not. I just noticed. Stream is bad. I am good. Stream is horrible, in fact. The worst stutter of the morning, but I am good. Which kind of lends itself to the theory that something I was doing, changing the settings, was shifting some of the stuttering onto my screen. Away from the stream output. It's okay now though. It's okay now. That was a very short stutter interval, unless it was happening while I was fighting and I didn't notice. Okay, duly noted. Let's continue. I've got to get to the bottom of this. I really have to get to the bottom of this. If I'm going to be a streamer, I need to get to the bottom of this. There's just no other option. The only options I have are resolving this stutter issue or not streaming anymore. And I'd rather keep streaming, if I'm honest. Especially since I've had some nice chatters in recently. And it feels like we're growing somewhat. And we're close to getting the run, of course. It would be nice to do it live and not just record it on a video or something with no reviewers. Yeah, so that was either a shorter stutter window than I'm used to seeing, or I just only noticed the back end of it. Oops, forgot about him. Oh, hi. Alright, screw the items, we're going for Gyobu. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to the game. Who needs balloons and coin purse anyway? I think I do. I mean, somewhat selfishly, at least it's smooth for me now. I haven't noticed any local stutters on my screen. Which means at least I can play the game while streaming. All smooth for now. Where did I get hit? Did I get hit? Oh, I know what happened. I can't sell that, I can't buy Ash. Uh-oh, stutter. Stutter on the stream, but not for me. Stutter on the stream, but not for me. Horrible stutter on the stream, but not for me. How long is it gonna last? Boy, it's so horrible looking over the preview window and seeing all of that stutter. Ugh, horrible. Absolutely fine for me on my screen. So that... Oh, it's cleared up. Has it? Stop stuttering? Yeah. It seems to be stuttering for less time now, but more regularly. I might be right in thinking that. Which is interesting. I mean, that's better. If there's a stutter window, but it doesn't last as long, then it'll be about reducing that stutter window to a minimum, I guess. So what did I disable in OBS? I disabled look ahead, but we're back to downscaling because I'm back at native 1440p on my monitor. So it was stuttering at around the 13-minute mark. We're at minute 15 now. I really should change the title to stutter testing. So that people know what they're getting themselves in for if they come in here. But yeah, it was 13 minutes we were stuttering. Now we're on minute 16. Still smooth. Honestly, it might be worth making a YouTube video if I do figure out the stuttering, because I couldn't find an answer when googling for it that has helped me. So if I do find the answer, I need to publish it just for the good of humanity, you know. So if anyone else struggles with this as well, they can be like, ah, thank you for the help. I would never have figured it out. So I will do that if I do figure this out, which is still an if at the moment because I still don't really know what's going on or what could possibly fix it. Okay, minute 17. At the current interval rate, we should be getting stutter around, I want to say, in around 3 minutes time. But for the moment, we're good. That's assuming the interval has shortened somehow. We are still good. Minute 18 and a half. I think there is the odd little stutter as it loads areas, but that's fine. That's not. That's just the game. Otherwise, generally smooth, I think, still. Or are we stuttering again? No, we've started stuttering on the stream now. I think. Yeah. It's still perfectly smooth on my screen. How are we doing? Yeah, there's definite stutter on the stream, but not on my screen. So how long? That was at 19, minute 19. Yeah, still stuttering. Still stuttering, still fine on my screen. Just do this until it... Just figure out the interval. This feels like a longer stutter than the other interval, but again I might have just noticed the end of it. I think we're just back to where we were, which would make sense because I've basically put the settings back to how they were. So it should stop stuttering in, well, any time now. Still smooth on my screen, still stuttering on stream. Okay, so the enhanced broadcasting has made no difference. This is a long stutter interval. I'm sure it wasn't this long before, so we're up to at least 2 minutes of stutter now. Which I'm sure is longer than before, but maybe it's about the same. Anyway, I would expect it to stop stuttering soon, very soon. Unless I have succeeded in making things worse. Is it clearing up? Looks like it. Maybe. So that's maybe, what, 2.5 minutes of stuttering? Are we good now? Kind of. There's still the odd stutter, but it's definitely better than it was. I think it's basically cleared itself up. Yeah, the stream looks smooth now. So we're just back to where we were. So enhanced broadcasting has made no difference. Which makes sense, because like I say, it happens on video recording too. Alright, so it's nothing to do with enhanced broadcasting, but I might as well leave that on because people can choose the res. And I can test the res to see if it changes for each res. But what I have resolved is what was happening before, where I would get stutter on my screen as well. That's completely gone now, so as far as playability for me goes, we're back to normal. Constantly uninterrupted, smooth 60 FPS. And the stream is just doing its stutter interval like it was before. Now it's absolutely fine, so we're at 23 minutes. So I would expect at around 31-ish, we should see stutter again. We'll see. Let's continue.
お前さん
Let's see. Whoops. Wow, you have a flurry on you, don't you? My goodness. I thought I was doing well just parrying the attack there, but there were more. That ogre just got destroyed. Yep. And I missed the iron. Thank you. Okay, all smooth and happy. Probably for another 5 minutes-ish. I mean, someone else must have had this issue and resolved it, right? Like, surely I'm not unique in experiencing this issue. It's not like I have some kind of crazy, weird, unusual setup or hardware. I would imagine a lot of people would be in this situation. They might not stream Sekiro, but like I say, I think it happens on other games. Oh, are we're stuttering again already? That's really bad. It's minute 26 now, and we are stuttering again. So it feels like it's stuttering more often now. I'm sure we had longer periods without stutter before. Although now it looks smooth again. Yeah, now it looks smooth again. So have we injected an extra bit of stuttering somehow into the interval? Yeah, because we're back to smooth. So there was a short period of stutter there, sort of in the middle of the interval, which is now gone. That's maybe what I perceived earlier when I thought, oh, that's shorter than normal. So now I have another stutter interval, it feels like. Feels like I've added another stutter interval. Somehow, maybe that's the enhanced broadcasting, maybe that's because I turned look ahead off, I don't know. I guess I need to look back at my early DS2 runs, right? And see if the same stutter interval is happening there. Everything was a bit different with DS2. I was running it at 100, well, my monitor was at 120 Hz and not 60 Hz. Because if I put my monitor to 60 Hz and play DS2, it messes up DS2 completely and makes it run twice as fast as it should. Why? Who knows? It doesn't make any sense because DS2 is also hard-coded at 60 FPS. Whoops. Whoops. This one. All smooth. Currently. Going back to the original interval of 10 minutes and 2 minutes-ish, we should be coming up to a long period of stutter. So I'm just going to stay here and run around. See if it happens. Perfect place to test it. Good on my screen, good on the stream. We're all good for now. Meow. I wonder how many people, if any, have popped in here, seen me running around in circles and gone, what the hell, and just immediately close the stream. To be honest, I was surprised to see Blanky and Savio pop up while I was doing this. 31 minutes, everything's good. Everything's smooth as butter. I just need the stream to be like this all the time, and then I'm happy. You know, that's all I'm asking for. Obviously it can run like this. It can run smoothly, right? So all I need is for the stream to run smoothly all the time. That's all I'm asking for. Just take away the random stuttering, please. Well, it's not random. Take away the intermittent regular stuttering, please. It's starting, isn't it? Yeah. 32 minutes it's starting. Still smooth on my screen. But on the OBS preview, I can see some stutters. Pretty much exactly the 32-minute mark that started. We're at 32 and a half. And now it's definitely stuttering quite regularly. Still completely smooth on my screen. Oh dear, what is causing this? Okay, it's pretty bad now, a minute in, so we're at 33 minutes now, and it's pretty terrible. Absolutely smooth as butter on my screen still. But the stream stutter is awful. Absolutely horrible. It's at these points in the VOD that I just can't watch it because it's too stuttery. I mean, I can watch it, but it's a horrible experience compared to the rest of it, which is buttery smooth. All I need is for this random stutter to go away. It's not random. All I need is for this intermittent, regular interval stuttering to go away. 33 minutes 50, and it's still stuttering. It started at 32, right? So this has been 2 minutes of stutter now. It's still perfectly smooth on my screen. 2 minutes of pretty bad stutter on the stream. Perfectly smooth on mine still. And I think it's starting to clear up on the stream. 34 minutes, 30 seconds. Still stuttering. But it's not as bad. It's kind of how it was when it first started. Still perfectly smooth on my screen. And now we are at 35 minutes. And we are back to perfectly smooth on the stream. Okay, so that's pretty much exactly a 3-minute period. And I don't think it was that bad before, but it might have been. Exactly 3 minutes of stutter. And now we're back to buttery smooth on the stream, and it's... the whole time it's been perfectly smooth on my screen. So at risk of getting injured for holding this position in my hand for so long, I'm gonna stay with it. 32 minutes to 35 minutes on the stream, we had bad stutter. The whole time on my screen, it's been perfectly fine. We are now at minute 36, and for the last minute, it's been perfectly smooth on the stream. The stutter is gone. Now, I wonder if we see that extra stutter interval that I noticed before. If I've added somehow another stutter interval, I think it comes in about a minute and a half, maybe. Like 3 minutes after the previous window. .37 we're at. So 2 minutes have passed without a single stutter now. Smooth as butter, still on my screen, so it feels like my screen is not stuttering at all anymore, which is how it was before I started playing with it. While testing this morning, somehow I've made my game stuttery, but that's gone now. So my game, I say my game, my main monitor, my screen is completely back to normal. So now the only stuttering that's occurring is on OBS. Okay, we're coming up to 3 minutes since the last stutter. .38 minutes now. Still buttery smooth. I'm wondering if I'm actually going to go dizzy at some point. Starting to feel a little weird. Oh, here's some stutter. Okay, so this is the new interval. 38 minutes and 30 seconds. Here is some new stutter that I'm not sure was there before. Still perfectly smooth on my screen, but this is really bad stutter on the stream, and if it's like it was before, this should pass relatively quickly. So 38 minutes and 30 seconds this started. We're now at 39 minutes. Still buttery smooth on my screen, and we're back to normal on the stream at 39 minutes 10 seconds. So there's the new or newly noticed short stutter interval. 39 minutes 10 seconds, 38 minutes 30. 40 seconds of stutter there that I'm not sure was there before, but now we're back to buttery smooth. So 40-second window of stutter there. 38 minutes and a half to 39 minutes 10 seconds. We are coming up to 40 minutes. So that was 3.5 minutes after the last stutter. Now we're on 40 minutes. So the last long stutter window ended at 35 minutes, if memory serves. And now we're at 40 minutes. And we had 40 seconds of stutter 3.5 minutes after the big interval. And now we're all smooth again. So now what I expect, it ended at 35, so around 45. In 5 minutes time we should get the long stutter window again. of 2.5 minutes, I think it lasted. Or was it 3 minutes? No, it was pretty much exactly 3 minutes, wasn't it? Yeah. So I think if anything, the stuttering's gotten a bit worse, but it's still that regular interval that's nothing to do with my hardware, it's nothing to do with presumably the game. There's just something weird going on. And just to reiterate, all of this time has been perfectly smooth on my screen. 41 minutes we're at now. Let's see what happens at around 45 minutes. So I'm basically just going to focus on the OBS window now because my screen hasn't stuttered at all this entire time. So we have shifted the stutter completely into OBS and my screen is no problem. I believe this is with VSync on for Sekiro in NVIDIA settings and VSync on for OBS settings, but I'm not sure. "42 minutes and we're all good." Man, I wish I had a macro for this so I didn't have to hold the pad like this. But pretty soon I'm gonna stop and give my hands a break. We just need to reach the next big stutter window and make sure it's exactly 3 minutes long again. And maybe we push forward another 3 minutes after it to see if that 40-second stutter happens again as well. Then I'll give my hands a break. Okay, 43 minutes. So within a couple of minutes now, I imagine we should get the long stutter window of 3 minutes of stutter. And if it's like before, it starts relatively slowly, gets worse until roughly in the middle of the 3 minutes, and then gets gradually better again before it completely goes back to smooth after the 3 minutes are up. "44 minutes and we're still good." Oh, okay, I'm seeing stutters. 44 minutes, 15 seconds. Starting to see the odd stutter, I think. I probably should make the window bigger, but I'm pretty sure I'm seeing stutters starting to creep in. Yeah, it's stuttering now. 44 minutes and a half. And I think it started at 44:15. Definitely stuttering now. Let's see how long it lasts. It should get progressively worse and then get progressively better again over the next couple of minutes. 45 minutes. So we are about a minute into the stutters now. It should get pretty bad. It's pretty bad now. Pretty rough. 45:15. Still perfectly smooth on my screen. No crunchy, it's still going on. I'm doing timings. So we're coming up to 46 minutes and the stutters started at 44:15-ish. So we're about a couple of minutes in now, so I would expect, here we are at 46, I would expect over the next minute it will gradually get better and then it'll stop and we'll be back to smooth. 46:15, we're 2 minutes into the stutter window. Yeah, I can see the smoothness returning. The stutters are dissipating. It's starting to look good again. 46:40. We're pretty much back to smooth. 46:43. Okay, so we call that 2.5 minutes of stutter. I'm pretty sure it was closer to 3 minutes last time, but let's call it 2.5 minutes. 47 minutes, we're back to smooth. Yeah, so I probably just overestimated last time. So it's about a 2.5-3 minute stutter window. What I've noticed though, Crunchy, is in about 3 minutes time, we should get a new, maybe it's new, but I've recently noticed it, a shorter stutter window of about 40 seconds of bad, really bad stutter for 40 seconds. And that should happen at around the 50-minute mark. So we're at 47.5 now. 47 minutes, 30 seconds. So if it's like the last stutter window, in a couple of minutes it'll go horrible for about 40 seconds and then it'll be suddenly smooth again. Like I say, I don't know if that's a new window since I've started playing with it or if that was there before as well. Either way, it's interesting. Okay, so we're at 48 minutes now. I had to change the line slightly. My hands need a break. So after this next, if it stutters for 40 seconds again really badly like it did last time at around 50, I'm gonna stop there because it's definitely a pattern. It's always the same timings and it's definitely not to do with my hardware. Something weird is going on basically, but it's regular. So if something regular is happening, there has to be a way to figure out what's going on. What the cause is, you know? Okay, we're coming up. It's 49 minutes and we're still all good since the last big stutter window of 2.5 to 3 minutes. 49 minutes tick. In 1 minute we should get 40 seconds of horrible stutter. And just to reiterate, Crunchy, my screen is back to normal. This entire time, my screen has been perfectly smooth. So this is only on OBS now. $49.5. Yeah, kind of. Like I say, it just felt like I was shifting the issue onto my screen a little bit and away from OBS. Now it's all on OBS again. And I did that through playing with different resolutions and flicking between full screen and windowed, basically. Okay, we're at 50-minute mark. Here we go. Any second now, we should get 40 seconds of bad stutter. $50 minutes, 15 seconds. $50 minutes, 30 seconds. Interesting. We still haven't had the short stutter window. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering the timings right from last time, but Maybe I was a minute off or something. $51. Oh, here it's starting. 51 minutes on the dot. Immediate bad stutter. Now this should be a short window. A short but very bad burst of very bad stutter. Started at exactly 51 minutes, pretty much. 20 seconds into it. Let's see if it clears up before 52 minutes. $51.35. Yeah, 51.40. What did I say? Exactly 40 seconds. Exactly 40 seconds of horrible stutter, and we're back to smooth. So now we have 2 stutter intervals. One that's 40 seconds long and that's quite bad focused, bad stutter. And one that lasts for about 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes and is more progressive. 52 minutes and we're good. Okay. My hands can maybe last until the next big stutter window. So the last stutter window ended at 47. We're now at 52.30. So the next big stutter window should happen at around 57, I think, if it's the 10-minute gap between. They are, mate. 53 minutes we're at. I'm going to give them a break in 4 minutes when it starts stirring again. You know what? I can just... I don't have to keep doing the same thing. I can just... As long as I keep the camera motion, that's all that matters. As long as there's constant, like, camera rotation, that's when you notice it. More than anything else. $53 minutes, 30 seconds. We're all good. So in 3 minutes time, we should get the long stutter window. 3-ish minutes. And obviously the longer I do this, the easier it's going to be to check back on the VOD for exact timings to see if they are always exact, you know? I have quite a small preview window, so it's a bit harder for me to see exactly when the first stutter appears and the last stutter disappears, obviously. Especially with this long window, because the long window is more progressive. So it'll start stuttering with the odd stutter, and then in the middle of the 2.5 minutes it'll be bad, and then it'll get sort of gradually better again, and then it'll disappear. 54 minutes 30 seconds, and we're still all good. Couple of minutes, we should start seeing something. Yeah, I don't know why I was sprinting around with claw grip, to be fair. I can just do this, it's much more comfortable. Thanks for the lurk, dude. Appreciate it, as always. Especially right now when I'm... I mean, to be fair, it's quite interesting content for any technically minded people. Any problem solvers out there want to join in, please do. I think we need all brains on deck for this one. It's a bit weird. But basically after this testing, I can point anyone to this VOD and say, look, oh wait, hang on, stutter? Did I see a stutter? No, I think we're good. 55:41. No, I saw a stutter. I think it started. that would be a 9-minute interval in between. No, maybe we're still good. This is the harder one to detect the beginning of because it starts gradually. 56 minutes now. I think it's starting. Yeah, I can see some stutter there. 56:30. It's definitely started. Yeah, it's getting progressively worse. You can see the stutters starting more. It's just coming in, you know? Getting gradually worse. Still smooth as butter on my screen, so I'm not even looking at that anymore. So that's maybe a 9-minute window, not a 10-minute window between them. 57 minutes and we're definitely choppy now. I think the first stutter started a minute ago. But now it's plain for all to see, even Crunchy. You can see these stutters if he's not lurking. Everyone can see the choppy lack of smoothness on the stream. And if you can't, keep watching, because in another couple of minutes it'll be smooth again. You'll be able to compare. We are at 58 minutes. It started at around 56. So in one more minute, we should, over the next minute, it should get gradually better. It's still kind of in the thick of the jerks. "58 minutes 30 seconds. We're still choppy. But it's starting to gather itself, I think. It's getting progressively less bad now. We're at 59 minutes, 3 minutes since the first, I think, the first stutter was detected, but 2 minutes into sort of actually stuttering. So by 60 minutes we should be smooth again. Here we go, it's definitely smoothing out now. Definitely smoothing out now. It's pretty much perfect now. There we go, 59 minutes, 30 seconds. So we're talking about 3 minutes, which is the same interval as before. 3 minutes of stuttering. And now we're back to smooth. And we're just going to keep this rolling for one more of the extra interval, which should come at around 63 minutes. So we're coming up to 60 minutes. No, it comes at around 3 minutes after the stutters disappear for the long interval. So maybe at around 62 minutes, we'll see a short, sharp burst of around 20 to 40 seconds of bad stutter. But for now, it's all lovely and smooth. Okay, we're coming up to 61 minutes, so should be around another minute of smoothness. or so. Until we get the short, sharp bursts of stutters. "61 minutes and 15 seconds. And at 62 minutes, we will be exactly 3 minutes after the previous long stutter window, which is roughly when the short one should start. 61.5. Coming up. 15 seconds. And 62 minutes now, so it's been 3 minutes since the last stutter window, the long one. Okay, so it's over 3 minutes. We're at 62 minutes 15. Very shortly it should kick in. "62 minutes 30, so that's 3.5 minutes. Maybe it's 4 minutes. Maybe it does vary. Okay, 63 minutes. We are 4 minutes since the last stutter. There it is. Here it is. 63 minutes 30 seconds. Horrible stutter very quickly, shouldn't last very long. It's 4.5 minutes, okay. After the last long stutter window. Still horrible, still perfect on my screen. But it should disappear as quickly as it came. Very soon. We're at 64 minutes now. It's been about 40 seconds of stutter. I expect it to go away around now. Definitely going. It seems like it's lingering a little bit longer. But no, I think we're pretty much back. 64 minutes 20 seconds. So that was about a minute. It seemed to last... Okay, now we're back to smooth. So this short interval was a bit longer, about a minute, and it took longer since the last interval to come, at about 4.5 minutes. I'm pretty sure it was more like 3 minutes last time. So we had a longer period in between the long stutter window and the short stutter window this time, but the short stutter window stuttered for longer. So maybe there is some slight variability. You know what I need? I need... Wait, where are we at? 65 minutes, okay. So at about... Well, we'll see. Maybe what I should have is a process list up in Task Manager. Sorted by CPU usage. Just to see if any random process flicks to the top when the stutters occur. Let's see. Actually, this is quite good. I can make the camera spin when I alt tab, right? So I don't have to... This could be a really good way of testing. So if I alt tab... Now... So let's... Maybe that's a bit too quick. It doesn't need to be so quick, right? Let's do... that. Okay. I can even put the pad down. Check this out. Borderless gaming just hopped up briefly, but that didn't cause a stutter. Oh, I need to be able to see the time. There it is. So we're at 56 minutes, 57 minutes coming up to. And I'm assuming even though my focus window is now Task Manager, it should still happen. Because it's still full screen and it's still perfectly smooth on my main monitor that I would be playing on. I should have thought about this earlier. It's been running around manually. I've also noticed that the camera is going to start tilting down, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. Was that a jump? No, I think we're still good. Coming up to 68 minutes. I saw a stutter there. Yeah, it's stuttering, isn't it? "58 minutes now. So that's been about 10-11 minutes since the last long stutter window started, I think. Yeah, it's starting. It is starting to stutter. It comes on gradually, this one, so it's actually quite hard to see the beginning of it, but I'm pretty sure it was around 58 minutes. So now we're 58 minutes and a half. There's nothing going on in my process tree. Sekiro's still taking around 12% of CPU. OBS is taking 1% of CPU. Windows device graph isolation popped up briefly, but not really doing anything. System popped up. We've got the regular stutters coming up. 59 minutes we're on now. It's actually harder to see it at this angle. But if I hop back in, we'll do a new. See how that goes. You can definitely see it more now. Sekiro is still at 13% CPU, OBS is 1% CPU, there's nothing else going on in the process tree, and we've got the long stutter window. We are all coming up to 2 minutes into it. Why is it tilting down? Stop tilting down. Why don't you just stay like that? Stutter, stutter, stutter. 2 minutes in, we're at 70 minutes now, and it's pretty bad, as you can see. Over the next minute, it should get better. Again, there's nothing in Task Manager to suggest anything in the background is running. I can't see Windows Defender, nothing's going on. OBS still 1%, Sekiro's 13%. Everything else is 0. Occasionally you see something pop up. But there's nothing going on in the background on my system, and it's stuttering like crazy. So that's just to confirm it's not a system thing. Okay, we're coming up to 71 minutes when it should start pretty much disappearing. "71 minutes now, 3 minutes into the stutter. What did I say, 3.5 minutes-ish last time? It's still stuttering, but it's nowhere near as bad. We're at 71:30, and now we're pretty much stutter-free. Yep, it's perfectly smooth again. So that was what, 3.5 minutes of stutter? That's the long stutter window, during which there was nothing going on in my task manager other than 1% OBS, 13% Sekiro for CPU usage. So this is just to confirm that nothing was going on in the background on my system when the stutters happen. So it's definitely nothing to do with anything in the background on my system. Yeah. Okay, so that's the long stutter window done. We're now at 72 minutes 30. It ended at around 71:30, I think. So we should have another couple of minutes or so until we see the short stutter happen again. Coming up to 73 minutes. Okay, this is the 73-minute mark now, so we should be a couple of minutes away. We've had a couple of minutes of smoothness now. Still nothing going on in the background. Still just a casual 13%-ish CPU usage for Sekiro and 1% to 2% for OBS. And everything else is low usage. Coming up to the 74-minute mark. 74 minutes now, so we should be around a minute away from a burst of around 40 seconds of bad stutter, although last time it was longer, around a minute, I think. Still chilling, still smooth. 74 minutes 30 seconds. Coming up to the 75-minute mark, which will be 4 minutes since the last long stutter window. 75 minutes, here we go. Pretty soon we should get that short, sharp burst of bad stutter. Unless it is variable and it's stretching in time. So it's been about 4.5 minutes now, we're at 75 minutes 30. And we're still good. Is it going to reach 5 minutes now this time? And maybe last a little bit longer? I wouldn't put it past it. System interrupts just popped up with 5% CPU usage. That's gone now, but still no stutter, so all normal in the process front. We are at 76 minutes, so it's been 5 minutes. Here comes the stutter. 76 minutes exactly it started. It's really bad stutter. My screen is still perfect. This is the short, sharp, bad stutter window. 20 seconds into it. It's horrible, it's unwatchable. It's coming from nowhere, apparently. Exactly the same going on in Task Manager, nothing out of order. 35 seconds into it. And 40 seconds. And there it is. There's the short, sharp. It's done. We're back to smooth. So within 45 seconds, we're back to normal. And again, that aligned with nothing occurring, as far as I could tell, with Task Manager open right below my preview window. 77 minutes, we're all good. So 76 minutes it started, that was 5 minutes after. So 71 minutes was when the last long stutter window stopped. So we are now 6.5 minutes since that long stutter window. So let's see exactly when the new long stutter window starts. And this is good information gathering for troubleshooting later on, I'm hoping. Just for clarification, we are still at 1.5% OBS CPU usage, 13% Sekiro usage. System interrupts still pops up very occasionally with around 4% and then disappears again. Spotify occasionally pops up with a 0.5% sort of thing. Other than that, nothing else is going on in Task Manager. Everything's chill. There seems to be no alignment with any processes popping up with doing something in the background and the stuttering starting. So coming up to 79 minutes. Which is 8 minutes since the last long stutter window. And I'm thinking it's around every 10-11 minutes for the long one. And I guess the same for the short one. I've only been timing the short stutter window after the long one finishes, rather than doing its own interval. But with the VOD of this, I'll be able to double check the timings. We're still looking buttery smooth. 79 minutes 30. Coming up on 9 minutes since the last long stutter window finished. Windows audio device graph isolation popped up with 2% CPU usage there and now has disappeared again. DS for Windows occasionally pops up with around 1%. Spotify, it's changing track, it used 5% of CPU and now it's disappeared. We've still got OBS at about 1%, Sekiro about 10 to 13%. Everything's still smooth. We are at 80 minutes and 30 seconds. 9.5 minutes since the last long stutter window ended. This is exciting content, isn't it? Is everyone loving this? Anyone like really loving this? As much as I am. This is technical troubleshooting 101. with Clapfish. With the false advertisement of Sekiro AP1 Hitless on the title, because I haven't changed it to I'm just testing. 71 minutes on the dot. Sorry, 81 minutes. We are 10 minutes since the last long stutter window ended. And we're still good. But very soon we should start seeing stutters start to creep in. Again, all is normal. Oh, I saw a stutter. Yeah, there's another couple. I really should make the preview window bigger, but it's definitely stuttering now, and we're at 81 minutes 40 seconds that started roughly. So you're talking 11 minutes after the long window, and we're into a new one. So 82 minutes, and we're into the new long window. Here come the stutters. My screen's still perfect. There's still nothing untowards going on in Task Manager. Stuttering's really bad again. Sort of a minute into it, which is what I'd expect. Still nothing going on in the background. Still the same process list. Everything looking around normal. I mean, if anything, it's just weird that OBS doesn't really use any CPU, but I guess it's using the GPU, so. For reference, I can just quickly check the GPU on the performance graph, but that's just a flat line, you know, flat line of the same amount of utilization. It's at more utilization now because I've put it on max performance mode, so instead of sitting at around 40%, 30 to 40%, it's now sitting at 70%. And it's 40 degrees instead of 50 because obviously the fans are on now because it's doing more stuff. I've forced it to be on high performance mode, I think, unless I turn that off. Anyway, basically no fluctuation, it's always around, it's always steady. We're still stuttering. I will keep an eye on that line more now though, because the processes, there's nothing new really to see there. I've looked at the processes for long enough, so let's just look at the GPU now. Starting to smooth out a bit, we are at 84 minutes, so yeah, it should get smooth again around now. Because it's been, what, 3 minutes or so? 3.5 minutes, and we're pretty much back to smooth. GPU's still around 60%, 50%. Let's see if there is any fluctuation in the GPU usage then when the stutter starts. We're back to smooth. We should have another 3 or 4 minutes, and then that short, sharp 40-second burst of stutter should occur again. GPU utilization is flicking between 50 and 60%, 42 degrees. I'm just going to stare at that now. Video encode is 35%, 3D is the 50%. The RAM usage, the dedicated GPU memory usage is constant at around, I don't know why it doesn't actually say the value of that. Oh, it does there, 4 gig, so you know, 4 gig out of 12 gig. Overall utilization is still 55%, 41 degrees. It's chilling, it's happy enough. Video encode is still 35%, 3D is still 55%. Basically a flat graph. Okay, 86 minutes. So around 88 minutes, in a couple of minutes we should see the short, sharp burst of stutter. And the great thing about testing the regularity here is, obviously, as far as the game's concerned, it's not loading any new content, it's just rotating in the same area. You know, you're taking any argument that, oh, maybe it's your hardware struggling, you know, out of the equation. Process of elimination. We're on 87 minutes. So another minute or two should see something. And after that window, I'm going for an AFK, but I'll leave it spinning, because why not? 50% utilization. %35% video encode. GPU's still chilling at 42 degrees. Is it slowing down the rotation, or is it just me? Anyway, 88 minutes. Here we go. We should get something soon. In the next minute, there should be a short, sharp burst of stutters for about 45 seconds. Let's see when it starts. 88 minutes and 30 seconds. Here it is. There's the stutter. 88 minutes 30 seconds, pretty much on the dot. 50% GPU utilization. 35% encode. Nothing's changed. GPU still chilling. We are 20 seconds into the stutter at 8850. Should have another 20 seconds of it. Still 50% utilization, everything's flat and chilling. There's 30 seconds past, 35 seconds. We are at 89 minutes and 10 seconds. That's the 40 seconds, and it's smooth again. There you go. Repeatable, regular intervals of stuttering while streaming Sekiro with OBS Studio. I've confirmed that the GPU is definitely not being overutilized, sitting at a happy 50% for 3D rendering, 35% for video encoding, 4 gig out of 12 gig dedicated memory usage. The CPU is constantly at around 10 to 13% utilization, most of that being the game, occasional usage from system and system interrupts and OBS. Other than that, nothing else going on in the background. No process popping up in the background that lines up with the stuttering windows. We are now at 90 minutes and we're back to smooth. And what I would expect to happen is in another 5 minutes or so, we should get the long stutter window of around 3 minutes. So I'm going to AFK briefly until that happens. What's up, everybody? Interestingly, GPU utilization's gone up to 65 now, up to 70. I don't know why. 70%, it was 50 before. Video encode is still 35, and we are still stutter free by the looks of it. Around 3 minutes since the short stutter window finished. 70% utilization, so that's something that's changed on the GPU. It's gone from 50 to 70, and I don't know why, because we're doing exactly the same thing. That doesn't make sense to me. A 100% spike? Interesting. 75%. But again, it's not stuttering at the moment, so it's not lining up with anything. Or has it started stuttering? It has started stuttering. We are at 94 minutes and it's stuttering, so this is the long stutter window. Okay. 77% GPU utilization. It's gone up 80%. But the last long stutter window came when it was still chilling at 50%, so 75%. Yeah, I don't think it's to do with it, but it is interesting how it's jumped from 50% utilization to around 70 to 80 now, with a little spike to 100. 75%. So maybe it's trying to do something. But yeah, this is the long stutter window. We're about a minute in, aren't we? So it's gonna last another couple of minutes. I'll keep an eye on the GPU utilization, which is still 75-ish instead of 50 like it was last time. Meanwhile, I need to change my title. OBS stutter testing and troubleshooting. Please help. There it is. 65% we're back down to. We're still stuttering. We are still in the long stutter window. We're about 2 minutes into it, I think. At 96-minute mark now. So over the next minute, it should clear up. .96 now. And it's starting to smooth out, I think. 70% utilization. 65. .96 minutes, 30 seconds. And it's getting better, so by 97 minutes it'll probably be gone. Just the odd little stutter again now. Going back to normal. 96 minutes 50. And we are back pretty much. There's the odd little stutter. 97 minutes and we are stutter free again. Perfectly smooth. That's the long 3 to 4 minute stutter window, or around 3 minutes. Now we're back to smooth for probably another 4 minutes until we get the short stutter window again. GPU utilization, if anyone's interested, is down to 60 and 50 again now. So it climbed briefly, well, I say briefly, for a few minutes it climbed from 50 to around 75, and now it's back to 50. I don't know why that was. I haven't done anything different. It seemed to climb before the long stutter window happened, though. But I don't think that's anything to do with it, because the previous stutter window, it was constantly at 50, I think, but I'll double check. I'm going to keep the GPU utilization graph up. 98 minutes now. So at around, what, 102 minutes, we should see some short, sharp bursts of stutter. Yeah, and we're back to the regular 50%. Meanwhile, let me just check the NVIDIA settings. Still buttery smooth on my screen. Just by the way, if anyone's just joining, my screen never stutters at the moment. The only stutter I see is on the stream output on OBS Studio. My screen for this entire time has been a constant 60 FPS, buttery smooth, no stutters at all. However, I can make it stutter by changing resolution and windowed to full screen, etc. Some settings that I've changed has made it worse. Let me remind myself what the program settings are for Sekiro and OBS while we wait for the next stutter window. Sekiro settings are all global defaults apart from vertical sync, which is on. So we currently, yeah, I turned off the power management mode because I realized that wasn't making a difference. And the utilization's back to chilling at 50%. OBS settings in NVIDIA control panel are global everything, yeah. Global everything. So no VSync, presumably. I mean, it's basically just use the 3D application setting. The low latency mode is still set as ultra globally, but there is no power management setting on at the moment, because previously I had power management mode as prefer max performance on both Sekiro and OBS, but that made no difference, so I've gone back to how it was before. So we are still chilling at 50% 3D utilization of the GPU, 35% video encode, 42 degrees. Nice flat 50% graph, pretty much. We are now at 101 minutes, so we should see a short burst of stutter will happen at some point. I think it's happening now. Yep, it's stuttering now at 101 minutes, so let's see how long it lasts. 15 seconds in, it should be a short window of around 40 seconds. 20 seconds in. Again, 50% graph. GPU's chilling, no change. 30 seconds in. And we're back to smooth. So I probably didn't notice the beginning of it. But there you go, we're back to smooth. So that was around 30-40 seconds of stutter. That's the short stutter window. Lining up with nothing going on the GPU. It's actually sitting at around 45% now instead of 50. On the 3D utilization, 3D rendering. A constant 35% video encode. And we're perfectly smooth, which should last another 5 minutes or so before the long stutter window starts again. But basically this is probably enough material to highlight the issue. I just want to do one more thing and wait for the next long stutter window to see if I get a climb in the GPU utilization like what happened last time. It went from around 50% up to around 70 to 80%, with a little 100% spike. And I'm not sure where that came from, because the rest of the time it's been chilling at around 50. So we'll see. It's at 50 now. We're at 103 minutes. It's probably another 2 or 3 minutes away from the long window. It's gradually climbing now, actually, interestingly. We're at 60% GPU usage. 55, 55, 60. So that has changed. Still perfectly smooth though. I wish you could see what process was using. Okay, the 3D utilization is up to 60% now instead of 50. It has climbed. We're at 104 minutes. 60% utility. $65, $60, still 40 degrees. $65. Yeah, the graph is gradually climbing. Now it's around 65 regular rather than 60. So we've climbed gradually from 50 to 65% utilization. And the stutters have started. Just before 105 minutes, we are stuttering. This is the long stutter window. So that should last another 2.5 minutes or so, get progressively worse, then get progressively better. We're at 65-70% utilization. So it has climbed at around the same time it climbed last time when the stuttering started. 70%, still 41 degrees. 65, 75, 70. Let's see if we get the little 100% spike out of nowhere. 70%, still stuttering. 75%. 70%, 60%. Thanks, Crunchy. Yeah, I know. I know, dude. That's who you get in here, these sorts of people. 65%, 106 minutes. Still stuttering, probably got about a minute left on it, I think. And the utilization's kind of chilling now at around 60-65, which is still, you know, nowhere near full utilization, obviously. Just interesting to note that it does rise for the duration of this long stutter window, seemingly. But not significantly, I would say. Coming up to 107 minutes, which is roughly when we should return to smooth, I would say. Utilization is dropping back to about 55. But I found a nice way to rotate the camera without me doing anything. I just start a rotation, then I alt tab, put the pad down. Great. 55% utilization. We're on 107 minutes and a half. We're still stuttering, so I might have just got the timings wrong for this window. But yeah, around 55% utility. It seems like an oddly long stutter window, but I could be wrong. It's hard to keep track of the exact things without several stopwatches. 108 minutes and we're pretty much smooth again. It's still the odd stutter, but it's definitely good. There was a interesting spike from the copy window of the graph. I don't know what copy means. But otherwise we're still around 50, 55. We're back to smooth. The long stutter window is now ended. And we're at 108 minutes and 30. Okay, I don't have much more of this left in me, I don't think. Oh, there was a GPU usage spike. Oh, that's the copy. So what is copy? We've got 3D copy video enc. Video encoding is exactly 35% the entire time. That never changes. The 3D utilization has changed at times. It's normally, like it is now, around 50%. But I have noticed that it climbs to around 70, 75 just before and during the long stutter window. And we are coming up to 110 minutes. All I'm doing right now, Crunchy, is gathering information. Just this is a VOD I'll be able to look back at and just double check the intervals, see if they vary, see if they are exactly the same. I was looking at the task manager processes to see if any background processes were jumping up at the same time as the intermittent stuttering occurs, but there's nothing running in the background that comes up in the process list as being busy. Just nothing. Everything's just chill. Since then, I've been looking at the GPU graph, which has been generally at a steady 50% for 3D rendering. It's been at a constant flat, pretty damn flat video encoding at 35%. It flicks between 34 and 36 and 35, so that's very steady. The 3D rendering, the utilization, like I say, is choppier, but generally that's at 50%. And I just want to see if it does always seem to lift to about 70 at around the time the long stutter starts. It has done that the last couple of times for the long interval. Again, though, I don't know if that's linked to the stuttering because, you know, it's not like it's going to 100 and then bottlenecking. It's rising from 50 to about 75 and then gradually going back down to 50. What's the problem? That's the burning question. That is the question. That is indeed the correct question. Okay. If memory serves, and I'm losing track completely now, we are at 112 minutes, pretty much on the dot. We should see the short, sharp burst of stutter pretty soon, for 40 seconds. We're still smooth at the moment. We are still chilling at 50% utilization. $112 minutes and 30 seconds coming up. Chilling at 50% utility, 45. If anything, this is the low point of the utilization. It's dropping below 50% a fair bit of the time. Again, video encoding is still a flat 35%. Okay, 113 minutes. Wouldn't be surprised if we see it pretty much now. Here it is. Couple of stutters, there we go. That's 20 seconds in to 113 minutes and 20 seconds. It's really horrible. We've got 45 to 50% utilization. We're 20 seconds into the stutter. There should be another 20 seconds of it. Still everything holding steady. And we are smooth again, 40 seconds in. There it is. There's the short window at minimum utilization. So we're talking about 45% it's at now, the 3D rendering. 42. So if I'm noticing any pattern between the stutters and the GPU utilization so far, I don't want to speak too soon, but we're roughly at about 45% right now. We seem to be right now at the low point of the GPU utilization. And if I'm noticing a pattern, we have a short burst of 40 seconds of stuttering, pretty much exactly 40 seconds of bad stutter at the low point of GPU utilization, when it's around 45%. Now we're back at 50%. Okay? So that short, sharp burst of stutter coincided with the lowest GPU utilization. So if this is a pattern, what should happen now, as is the case, we are at 50%, 50 to 55%. Now it will gradually start going up in terms of GPU utilization for the 3D rendering. Again, not for the video encoding, that's always 35%, never changes, pretty much. We're at 55% GPU utilization now. And if this is a swing pattern that's constantly happening, what we should see now is the GPU utilization gradually increasing to about 75%, and that'll coincide with the long stutter window. Oh, I just got a spike of 100% very briefly, but I don't think it stuttered. So that was probably just a little random spike. Looks smooth to me. But we're still at around 55. Now it's around 60. So it's gradually rising. Gradually rising. Now we're at around 60% utilization. Again, perfectly smooth, no problem. Hanging at around 60. And when this reaches about 75, that should coincide with the long stutter window of around 3 minutes. Then it should start going down again to about 45%, and when it hits about 45%, we get the 40-second short, sharp burst of stuttering. Let's see. Yep, there's a 70%, so we're at 65 to 70% now. Still smooth. $65. Still smooth. We're at 117 minutes. There's another 70. The 65 to 70. So I'm not even working off the clock now, I'm working off the GPU utilization to predict when the stuttering will occur. Now we're at about 70 regularly, so pretty soon we should start seeing the long stutter window come back. If it does tie in with this wave of GPU utilization. Yeah, it's stuttering. I see some stutters and we're at 70 to 75% now. The stuttering has started. So this is at least some pattern. So this should be the long stutter window where it's hanging at around 75%. And then it'll start going down to 45%. And that, when it starts going down again, will coincide with the end of this long stuttering period, which we're in now. As you can see, can't you, Crunchy? You can see the stutters, right? Tell me you can see the stutters, please do. It's not just me going crazy. It's definitely stuttering. And we're at 75%. Video encode is still 35 flat. 3D rendering is up at 75%. And it's terribly bad stutter right now. Again, this is the long three-ish minutes of stutter that we are in at the moment, at the peak of GPU utilization, apparently, which is around 75%. Oh, look at that stutter, it's horrible, dude. Okay, we might have started falling off. I'm seeing 65 to 75% utility. It's starting to drop. The stuttering is still happening. There's a 60%. However, the stuttering is improving. Now we're down to 50. 55. It's still stuttering, but it's pretty much gone. And we're down to 55% utilization. And it's looking pretty smooth. Yep, that's the end of the long stutter window. So now it's smooth, 0 stutters, and we are back to 50% utilization. 50 to 55, it's jumping around between 48 and 58. Oh, a short, sharp copy spike of 100. I don't know what copy is. But there's the copy spike. I think that happened at around the same time. Again though, back to smooth stream output. 60%, 55, 58. $60, $52, $54, $59, $55. So now I expect it to be chilling for a bit, and then it'll reach a low point of around 45, and then we get the short, sharp 40 seconds of stutter, and then it'll start going gradually up again to 75-ish for the long window. We are at 60, 57, 53, 56, 53. 53, 56, 52, 61, 54, So it's pretty flat at around 55-ish at the moment. Occasionally dropping to the 40s, occasionally seeing about a 60. 46, 47, it's starting to get low. It's starting to get low. It's flattening out at around the 50 to 45% mark. Here's where we should start being in danger of that short 40-second stutter window. 47, 43. 50, 49. It's definitely at its low point, roughly. 45. 48, 47, 49, 45. Any moment now. Now we're pretty much consistently in the 40s, occasionally flicking to 50. Oh, there's a quick 100% copy burst out of nowhere. Again, didn't seem to do anything to the stream. 47. 49, 52, 46. It's pretty much flattening out to its low point. We're still smooth. It's chilling. Pretty much a flat 50. 46, 48, 51, 49, 48. $50 flat, 49. Very, very chill now. Very chill. Very flat graph. At around 48 to 51. This seems to be its happy place. Whoa, went down to 45. 47. 49, 50, 45, 52, 47, 49. $47, 50. It's chilling. Everything's happy. 46, 47. No spikes, very flat. Should be any minute now, right? Where's that short stutter window? We're still smooth. Still at around 50. Oh, here it comes, here it comes. 48%. 2 hours, 5 minutes, 40 seconds. 50%. 48%, 47. Here's the stutters, horrible stutters for 40 seconds. There was a brief copy spike of 100 again, but now back down to 48. 46. And it's over. That's the short stutter window gone. We are back to smooth. 45%. 43, that's the low point. 43, 47, 43, 48, 47, no 50s anymore. 44, 45, 43. This is definitely the lowest point of the GPU utilization. The short stutter window is over already, but we are still chilling at 46, 48, 44. And we're still smooth. 52. Okay, there's a 50. We're back up to 50. 51, 48. 53. I'm seeing more 50 numbers now. Okay. That seems to be a pattern. One more time, let's see if it gradually goes up to about 70-75% and it coincides with the long stutter window. I don't know if this is useful information for the troubleshooting at all, because obviously 75%, the difference between 75% utilization and 45%, it's still nowhere near being bottlenecked. You know, it's still not struggling as far as hardware goes. The video encode is still exactly 35% the entire time. Never changing. It's only the 3D rendering utilization that fluctuates slowly between around 45 to 75%. We are climbing though. 58, 55, 59, 55, 57. See, we're back into the high 50s. There's a 61. Gone is the period of sub 50% utilization, and we are back high 50s, low 60s. 58, 63, 57. $57, 63, 60. Still smooth. 64, 61. Into the 60s more regularly now. 66, 61, 57, 60, 67, 63, 100%. Little sharp copy spike again. I don't know what that is or where that's coming from, but it doesn't appear to... Oh, hang on. Was that a stutter? That's stuttering. We are stuttering again. This must be the start of another long stutter window then. Unless that was something else. It looks smooth now. Okay, so there was 100% copy spike out of nowhere. No, it may have signified the start of stuttering. It is stuttering. But we're only at about 60, 65, 69. There's another 100 copy spike. That's a bit more regular than it was before. 71%. 74, 68. Not looking too stuttering now though. 70. 74, 72. So maybe that wasn't the start of the stutter window and it was just something else because of those copy spikes. I don't know. Obviously, you expect the odd bit of stutter here and there anyway, but what we're looking for is the pattern with the long periods of stutter, sustained stutter, and what might be causing it. Now we're up above 70% utilization all the time. 73, 71, 77. 74, 72. There is some stuttering. 75. Still pretty smooth though. There's some stutter. 77, 76. 82, that's a peak. 82, 75, 76. We are stuttering now. So this is the high point. This is the long stutter window. So there's definitely a pattern with GPU utilization and the stutters. 76, 77, 79, 80, and we are well into the long stuttering window now. 79, 74, 80. Oof, some rough stutter there. 78, 81, 79. Horrible stutter. 77, 82, 81. 80, 77, 81, 82, 76. So we're talking 75 to 80-ish at the moment. Coinciding with the worst of the long stutter window. But still nowhere near 100% utilization. But it's a very interesting pattern. Oh, we saw a 68 there, a 67, 69, 68, 76. It's starting to come down. we're still stuttering. But the peak is over. 72, 66, 62, 63, 66, 59, 61, 57, 52, 56, and wow, 45. That went down very quickly. 47, and we're smooth. There was a copy spike of 100% there, but again, that just seems to be sort of random. I don't think that's happening at any particular times, but could be wrong. 55%, and we are stutter free now. So the long stutter period of higher GPU utilization is over once again. Oh no, there's still stutter. There is still stutter. But we are chilling at around 55%. That again could just be another bit of random stutter rather than part of the interval, but tough to say really. But generally we're chilling back to around 50-55%. No stutter. And if you're thinking, well, obviously the stutter coincides with higher GPU utilization, you'd be wrong, because pretty soon we're going to have a low point of GPU utilization of around 45-43%. And when that happens, we get around 40 seconds of terrible stutter. So now we're chilling 50, 52, 47, 50. Pretty flat graph. Perfectly smooth stream. All the while perfectly smooth on my gaming monitor. No problems there. Never any problems there. Except for earlier when I was playing with full screen versus windowed and different resolutions. Then I was getting a lot of stutter on my screen as well, but not anymore. Now we're starting to chill at under 50. We've got 48, 51, 48, 50, 49, 47, 48, 49, 45, 42, 47, 49, 51, 50. I think the 42 might have been the degrees, I misread it. 49, 45, 100 spike, copy spike, 46. 53, 47, 49. You know what? I can add a source for this, right? Window capture. Tasks. Task manager. Okay. Does that work? It does not work. Apparently you can't see that. Maybe you're not allowed to see that. Oh, hang on. Is it hidden? No, it's visible. Huh. Why can you not? Task manager must be protected or something. I was going to put it on the stream, but unless... No. I don't know. Never mind. Get rid of that. Multi-adapter compatibility? I don't know. Capture method automatic. Oh, there we go. Wait. There it is. There we are. We can see the CPU as well. Okay, we're starting to chop. We are at a low point of utilization, as you can see, bottom left, 44. This is the short window of stutter. Or it should be. Yeah, so it's back to smooth now. And now what you'll see is a gradual increase in the GPU 3D utilization. Wait, you can't see my... Capture cursor. Okay, okay, okay. Why are you breaking? There it is. For some reason that window's broken, but I think we're okay. Yeah, you can see the cursor now. So what you'll see now is a gradual increase in the 3D utilization. We were chilling at that low point where we had the stutter, we were chilling at about 45. Now it'll be a gradual increase to about 70, then it'll start the long stutter window, it'll go up to maybe about 80. Then it'll start gradually going down again, which will coincide with the end of the long stutter window. And then at the bottom of the utilization curve, we will have the short stutter window of about 40 seconds again. I should have done this earlier, shouldn't I? Had this on the screen. Are you there, Crunchy? Can you see that? Is that visible okay to you? I'm not actually sure because it's all a bit messed up on my screen at the moment. But as you can see now we're back above 60%. We are beginning to climb gradually to approach the long stutter window. It's stuttering now, so this is the long stutter window, I guess. Starting. We're at 65, 71. Here it is. Here comes the stutter. It's pretty bad. It's very bad. It's unwatchable, in my opinion. And we're up to that about 70 peak, 70 to 80 peak. No copy spikes this time like last time, so I don't think that's anything to do with it. But yeah, we are in the thick of the long stutter window now, at around 70 to 75%. Horrible, unwatchable. I'm not happy with this at all. I can't be a streamer and have this happen every 10 to 15 minutes for 3 minutes. It's just not okay. Which is why I've stopped running Sekiro until this is resolved. Because I do not want to record in this sort of quality anymore. It's just not okay in my book. Still stuttering like a madman. We're starting to go down on the utilization. Back down to around 60, 65. Which means the long stutter window should be coming to an end in the next minute. There's a little copy spike, but again, like that seems to just happen randomly. So I'm not bothered about that right now. But we're back down to the 50s, and this is where the stuttering should stop. Still stuttering a little bit. Definitely improving. And we are pretty much smooth again. There it is. No more stutter. And we're back to around 50% on the utilization. So the main point here is no matter what I'm doing in the game, no matter what the graphical load is on the hardware, something weird is going on where there's an interval of smooth gameplay followed by around 3 minutes of stuttering, followed by another period of smooth gameplay, and you get a rough patch of around 40 seconds of horrible stutter in between the two, in between the long intervals of stutter, which happen every 11 minutes-ish. But it definitely seems to be coinciding with both the high point of the GPU utilization at around 70-75% and the short period of 40 seconds of stutter coincides with a low point of GPU utilization of around 45%. So we're still chilling, we're still smooth. And it just goes round in circles, if you'll excuse the pun, because obviously I'm just spinning around in a circle. And I just need a solution for this. I just need it to stop doing this. So it's always smooth. That's all I'm looking for. There you go. We've got a bit of variance, but we're steady at around 50% at the moment. We're heading to the low point of when it dips below the 50s regularly. And when the utilization's below 50 for a bit of a sustained period, then we should see horrible stutters for about 40 seconds. Still chilling, but we are heading for that low point. And I guess I'm doing this live with a different title, just in case anyone out there sees the stream and goes, oh, OBS stutter, I've had that problem, hops in here and goes, this is what you need to do. I'll do it, and then I can get back to gaming, you know? Please, someone out there, please help me. Don't make me enter the abyss that is Google trying to find some information in this, the worst of our misinformation age. Full of clickbait and nonsense in the name of money instead of accurate information that's useful and easy to access. Such is the times we live in. But anyway, here we go. We are pretty much below 50 most of the time now. We're at 48, 47. So I would expect that short stutter window anytime now. Still smooth. I'm going to stare at the OBS output until I see a stutter. Any second. Did I miss it? We're back above 50. What happened? I definitely wouldn't have missed it. Oh, here it is. There's the stutter. Horrible stutter. We're at 46, 50, 47. Horrible stutter. 45. And we are out of it, I think. Yeah, it looks smooth again. Right, there's the short window. I either missed it or it didn't look quite as bad that time, but there was a sustained period of around 30 seconds of stutter. It might be harder to detect now that that task manager's on the screen. But yeah, we're smooth again. And as you can see on the bottom left graph, it's starting to increase the utilization. And we'll go up to about 75%, and then we'll have lots of stutter for a sustained period of about 3 minutes again. And then after that one, I'm going to stop this because this is getting a bit silly. Or I'll switch games, or I'll do some more testing, you know. But you can see that graph, it's starting to climb. Slowly but surely. We're above 50 regularly now, instead of in the 40s. But we're perfectly smooth on the stream output. No stutters at all. So yeah, it's a regular interval. I've got 2 intervals of regular stuttering. One for 40 seconds, one for about 3 minutes. The 3-minute one coinciding with a GPU utilization of around 65 to 75. and the short 40-second interval of stuttering coinciding with a low utilization of around 45 to 50%. Make of that what you will. Any techies out there, please tell me what on earth might be happening to cause this. And even better, if you've got a solution I can try, please tell me. Because I'm sick of this now, honestly. You know, it'd just be nice if it just worked. But pretty soon I'll have at least the task manager on the screen with the game to show where the stuttering is occurring in relation to what's going on the GPU. And for reference, process-wise, that's pretty much all you see. The occasional flick from system interrupts, Spotify, etc. OBS is usually chilling at about 1%. Sekiro's around 14-13%. I stared at that for a while and no process was cropping up to coincide with the stutter. Anyway, back to the graph. We're approaching the high point. It might start stuttering now. Yeah, I see some stutters, so this is the long stutter window again. So we've got a variance of GPU utilization of around 40%, right? It goes from about 45 to 75. Wait, that's 30. No, it's not, it's 40. No, it's not, it's 30. Of around 30%. Yeah, we're at the high point now, at about 70-75%. And we are into this long stutter window. You can see the stutters in the rotation of the camera. If you can't see it, please look more closely. So here we'll get to a peak of around 75, occasionally I've seen 80. And then it'll start heading down to about 50 again. And when it's on its way down, we'll stop seeing the stutters. Absolutely zero stutter on my gaming monitor. That's always 60 FPS. Never stuttering. This is just purely on the OBS output. Currently. There we go, it's starting to fall off. It's actually fallen off pretty quickly back down into the 50s. And now we'll see pretty soon the end of the stuttering. And there's a little copy spike out of nowhere. I don't know what that is, or if that's significant, but there it is. That seems to happen sort of randomly at different times. I don't think there's any correlation or pattern to the copy spikes, but we are pretty much back to smooth now. No more stuttering. The long stutter window is over. And we're back down at about 50, and it'll hold here for a few minutes without stutter, chilling at about 50. It'll dip to its lowest point of around 42, 45, where it's more consistently under 50. And that should coincide with 40 seconds of bad stutter. See, there's another random copy spike, but that hasn't, as far as I was aware, didn't cause the stutter. So I don't think that's significant. I don't know what that is. Generally we should be chilling at about 50 for a bit, and then, like I say, we'll get a short stutter window. Still chilling, still smooth. No problems for the moment. I just want it like this all the time. That's what I want. I just want it like this consistently. But apparently that's too much to ask without a lot of technical troubleshooting and no answers. But as you can see now, we're getting to below 50% quite regularly. In the 40s. Starting to be more in the 40s than in the 50s. So we should pretty soon see the short, sharp stutter window. All good for now though. Yeah, we're consistently in the 40s now. And interestingly, this bottom stutter window, as I call it, as I'm sort of having it in my head now, I'm not sure that was there much before, so that might be more of a variable thing. Or I just didn't notice it before the real careful testing. And since we're back above 50 now, maybe the bottom one has changed. Oh, here it is. Here's the stutter. Let's see how long it lasts. 50 seconds that was on. It should end in 30 seconds if it's still a 40-second window. But you can see the really bad stutter at the moment. 20 seconds into it. $30, $35. Okay. 40 seconds, we should be good now. Yeah, there it is. No more stutter. So that's the short window at the bottom of the utilization curve. You can see it kind of coincided with the low point on that graph for the 3D rendering, or for the overall utilization in the bottom left of the task manager. And now we're back to smooth, no stutter, but we're back on our way upwards in terms of utilization to around 70-75% when it will start the long stutter window of 3 minutes again. So even standing in one spot, spinning around for the last hour and a half, which is all I've been doing, it just never changes. It's always the same. I was initially trying to count the minutes and it seemed like the time interval was always the same. Then I noticed the GPU utilization seemingly going up and down in tandem with the stutter points. Like I say, I've noticed at peak utilization there's a 3-minute stutter window, and at minimum utilization there's a 40-second stutter window. And as you can see, true to its habits, the graph is now, it's on its way back up. We're steady in the 50s, hitting 60 instead of around 45-50. And it'll just do the same thing again. It'll approach 70-75%. It'll start stuttering for 3 minutes. Then it'll drop to 50% again, and then the stuttering will end until we have the short stutter window at around 45%, and then it just repeats. So that's the situation. At least it's recorded. At least I have some evidence. And right now I should go and get some food because I've been streaming for 6 hours and not playing the game. I was slightly hoping, perhaps naively, that someone would see this title and go, oh, I can help with that, and jump in and say, here's the solution. But that was probably too much to ask for. What I probably will do today, for the rest of the day, is keep this troubleshooting up and try and find some sort of solution. There's a random copy spike of 100%, but again, doesn't seem to... Oh, hang on. It has started the stutter, hasn't it? That might be a pattern with the copy spikes then. It started stuttering at pretty much that exact time as we approach the peak of the utilization. So we're already into the long window. Interestingly, I think what's happened is, over this period of couple of hours of testing, I might be wrong, but I can look back at the VOD for this. I think the low stutter point of 40 seconds has shifted, is traveling between the long stutter windows, if you see what I mean. I could be wrong, but it feels like the time in between the long and the short stutter windows has been variable, or is changing slightly, but I could be wrong. But yeah, especially this stutter window, I can't deal with. I can't deal with 3 minutes of this sort of stutter when I watch back the VODs. And I don't want my viewers to deal with any stutter, like any sustained period of stuttering like this at all, because it ruins the playing experience, especially when I'm trying to make it the smoothest and nicest to watch playthrough of Sekiro without any other clutter on the screen. I just want it to be pure, smooth gameplay from start to finish. So these stuttering intervals are just not acceptable for me. There's another copy spike on its way down. That might have happened before as well. And now that we're back at about 50%, it should stop stuttering soon. Until the short stutter window comes back at around 45%. It's starting to smooth out now. Stuttering's pretty much gone. Still the odd stutter. But there it is. Generally, now we're back to smooth. No more stutter for a bit until the short window. Let's just hang around and see if the short window happens earlier. Or later. No, I think it's travelling away from the... I think it's nearing the other end. Is this making any sense? What am I trying to say? You've got long stutter periods of 3 minutes. In between, during the smooth period, it feels like the 40-second window of stutter is traveling between those points. So it's now, it felt like it was closer to the back end of the long window before. And now it feels like it's happening nearer the front end. So it's happening sooner. No, it's happening later and later. Does that make sense? And I could be wrong with that observation. Obviously. But it's because I started out in noticing the end of the long stutter 3-minute window and then noticing the time between the end of it and the 40-second short stutter window being about 3 minutes, and then I noticed it was 4 minutes and then about 5 minutes. So if that explains it better, it feels like the short stutter window is variable in that sense. You know, there's a... It's not quite synced with the long stutter window period. Not period. The long stutter window frequency. But again, I could be wrong, but I think that might be occurring. I'll be able to check it on the VOD if I need to. And I'm not sure if that short stutter window was always there, or if that's a new thing. But again, because it's so short, I might just not have noticed it really before. As much as the long stutter window of 3 minutes, which is obviously very noticeable when you're watching back a VOD. Because you're like, oh, it was perfectly smooth, and now it's making me not want to watch it because there are these random stutters for ages. You know? It also depends what's going on screen at that exact moment, which is why this seems like a good test where the camera's just spinning around by itself, and that takes away any potential for it being different parts of the game and loading in sequences and shaders and all the rest of it. And B, it makes it easier for the intervals to be detected and recorded and any sort of patterns to be observed. Anyway, we should be... Okay, there's a copy spike. Does this intersect with stutter? Doesn't appear to be. It's still smooth. Still chilling at about 50. But it shouldn't be long now for the short stutter window. And if I am right and it is travelling, say it's a longer frequency or a shorter frequency, how to describe that? It's a longer wavelength than the long stutter window wavelength. If I think about it graphically. After the end of the long stutter window, it's feeling like it's taking longer and longer to get to the short stutter window as time passes. That's what I think I'm noticing. But again, could be wrong. Because it's feeling like the wait for the short stutter is taking longer and longer. Either that or I'm just getting tired of this and I want breakfast. It has a certain addictive quality though, this sort of information gathering and troubleshooting. Because you're just trying to look for patterns, you're trying to think what could be the cause of this random stuttering. Not random, it's not random. It's not random stuttering at all. It's very regular, intermittent stuttering. With a high degree of regularity and a lot of pattern behind it. Both in time and in GPU utilization on the graph. Oh, here it is, here's the stutter. Finally, we're getting the short stutter window, okay? It's been about 10 seconds. Let's say 15. 20 seconds. Should be another 20. 25. 30 seconds. Still stuttering, 35. And 40 seconds, so we should be pretty much smooth again now. Yep, there it is, we're back to smooth, so that was pretty much exactly 40 seconds, as usual. Coinciding again with the low utilization, it was down to what, 42% there for a second or so. And now it's on its way back up. Saying that though, before that was a long period of steady 50, so if anything is proof that these stutters aren't to do with my hardware, I think that's it, right? It's got to be a software issue, and it pretty much has to be OBS at this point, I think. What I'll do maybe this afternoon is test it with other games. See if we get the same sort of intervals, maybe at different frame rates and things like that. Maybe some Rocket League. Haven't played that for a while. Because Rocket League can play at 180 FPS, 180 Hz, which is the monitor's, I guess, native refresh rate. Of course, part of the problem I thought was the fact that I've got a 60 Hz TV connected, as well as a... Well, I'm running the other monitor at 60 Hz because I have to for Sekiro, otherwise it's choppy as anything on my screen. So they're both running at 60 at the moment, but I did rule that out as part of the OBS stutter reason yesterday when I disconnected completely the extra monitor, so it was just me on my monitor and OBS was just in the background. And we still got the same stuttering issues, so it's not to do with multiple monitors, as far as I can tell. It's not to do with resolutions, it's not to do with full screen versus windowed on the game. However, changing those things can make my local game on my monitor choppy, as well as the OBS choppiness. But again, it didn't resolve the OBS stutters. So it's not, I don't think it's to do with resolution. It might be to do with the game, but I'm pretty sure I've noticed stuttering on other games, like I say. It's not to do with OBS running as admin or not, because I've turned that on and off. It's not to do with max performance mode for the GPU settings for OBS or the game. It started the long stutter window now, as you can see. As it approaches 70%, we are stuttering again. And this is the long one of 3 minutes. That's absolutely not acceptable. You could almost live with the 40-second short one if that was the only stutter window, but this 3-minute one is just not acceptable at all. So this stutter window is what makes me not want to watch my own VODs back, and that's not good, because if I don't want to watch my own VODs back, then a lot of people will be put off watching the content in general, seeing the stutter as it is. Oddly, it seems kind of smooth now. No, there's the stutter again. I spoke too soon. Yep, still very much stuttering. As we're approaching the apparent peak of utilization, why it changes regularly between 45 and 75% utilization, who knows, right? Because I'm not doing anything different in the game, and I'm literally not doing anything. It's just deciding to do that for whatever reason. But what we have gathered here is information on the time interval between the stutters, the fact that there are 2 stutter windows, one of about 3 minutes, one of about 40 seconds. The 3-minute one coincides with the highest GPU utilization variance of around 75%. The 40-second stutter window coincides with the low point of the GPU utilization of around 45%. And generally, for the most part, it stays steady at around 50-55%, and that's where it's smooth. I mean, it's smooth before the long window at about 60-65 as well, so don't really focus on that. But now we've dropped to about 50 again, as you can see. So soon we'll be smooth again. And there it is, just like last time. There's no more stutter now, until the short window occurs again in about 5 minutes time. And we just keep going round and round with intermittent, regular stutter windows of 3 minutes and 40 seconds. 3-minute window and a 40-second window. And I'm not doing anything in the game, so it's not the game, it's not my hardware, it's got to be something to do with the OBS or OBS settings or something. And it's not to do with processes in the background either, because nothing ever jumps up here taking CPU usage, making me think, that's causing the issue. and certainly no changes in the processes occur that line up with stuttering in the stream output. So there it is. Who knows? The saga continues. Anyway, I assume everyone who was watching stopped watching a long time ago. That's enough information gathering for now. I'll be back, I guess, with more testing later. I really hope I get to the bottom of this, because currently it's making me not want to stream unless it gets resolved. But there we have it. Anyway, I'll be back later, I guess. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the bottom of it, but there's a lot of information gathering that's been done. So maybe that'll help. Maybe that was a completely pointless exercise. I don't know. Either way, right now I'm off for some food. So I'll catch you later.